Hello again. This is my second reading video. I am trying new setups, new things. This is all very new for me to be doing in this public type of way. And I want to honor the craft. I put these stones out so they're eye shot. Cool. So, I had someone ask for a career reading, and I don't like... Anyway, here's the thing. I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw some cards specifically for the person who requested it, but in general, I'm going to do a general career reading and hope that it reaches anybody who needs to receive the messages, and then I'll pull a card or two specifically for the person I promised this video to. So I'm going to shuffle on camera. It's kind of loud. And so pardon that, but a lot of people prefer to see that experience. So let's see if I can. These are the decks that I intuitively thought would be the most useful in this reading. The circle one is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, the first one I shuffled. This one is Postcards from the Liminal Space. Just shuffling right now. This is one of my favorite decks. They're so slippery. Okay. So, yeah, this is Postcards from the Liminal Space. This is a deck that might hurt your feelings, which is something I love about it. The next deck I'm going to be shuffling is the Literary Witches Oracle. I am a literature major, or that was my major when I was in college. And so when I saw this Literary Witches Oracle deck, I knew it was for me, which is why I paid Barnes & Noble prices for it in store years ago, or last year, before all hell broke loose in the pandemic. Alright. And I have one tarot deck out. I don't always read tarot for everyone because I don't really use cards for predictive fortune telling as much as I use cards for spiritual guidance in seeking out the decisions that will help me reach my highest good. And that's kind of how I suggest other people use cards as well, because spiritually speaking, I think that allowing those broader messages in instead of trying to focus on like cheat codes to life is what gives us the overall progress that helps us break karmic cycles and end up in a stronger, better position than before. So, while I do think that the cards have the power to be specific, and I do believe some people have those gifts, I do not personally think that I have the gift of reading cards for predictive fortune telling. I prefer to use cards in a more co-creative manner than that. So that's what you're working with me. And so what I'm asking Spirit now, and of course I'm asking Spirit about highest good issues, right? We're not trying to get mediocre results when we're seeking truth. So I'm asking Spirit now to reveal through the cards what the next moves are in our growth processes, in the querent's growth processes to reach the next level of potential in the non-linear cycle of life. All right, coffee down. All right. Now, I really like to use deck guidance books. Some of my decks I'm more, ooh, okay, interesting. Some of my decks I'm more familiar with than others, so I don't have to look up nearly as many of the cards. Okay, interesting. Anything else? That's too many. One more time. There's already 3 out, so that's too many also. All right, I'm getting butterfingers now. I'm just gonna put them down. We've got the Storm. The Threshold. And Anima Mundi. There's a lot going on in this card. All right. My intuitive messages I received directly from these cards, which is surprising because since I know it's a career reading, it just happened. It occurs to me like a past, present, future type spread. This storm is whatever is that tower moment, that that change that you're undergoing, the thing that prompts the forward movement or change, or at least starts the stirring, the thing that makes you discontent, or whoever's listening. This threshold, this present energy, is why the querent would be trying to find out more information about this in the first place, right? Like, this is the precipice of what's coming next. And I am going to read the return on this card because there's a lot to it and I'm not as familiar. So I'm going to let the guidebook instruct us on... This is the very last, interestingly enough, this is the very last card in this deck. The soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. The powerful, gift of this card is when light is tending to the sacred details of life. On the dark side, the shadow side of this is the overwhelming feelings of the bigness of existence, okay? So, there's this universal unity, right? I think what I'm seeing here is a spiritual awakening that allows you to settle for nothing less than fulfilling what your purpose is in this life. And whatever's been holding you back from this potential, you're bigger than that. And the little whispers in your gut is what's going to, and keeping your promise to yourself to not settle and to continue. Okay, let's draw some more. Let's clarify. This is very straightforward so far. I'm going to move these so I have a little more space. Thank you, deck. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Let's see what the Oracle Witches have to say. Now, I don't have a lot of charms, but I've been trying to collect some, so I might experiment and try to pull some charms at the end of this to see if that will clarify anything. Please clarify this past, present, future spread. Oh, interesting. All right. I'm going to see if any... Okay. That was very specific. All right. Okay, Querent. Your first card, I'm definitely going to get the book out for this. They're not very long. Your first card is Anna Akhmatova, the Endurance card. Okay. Interesting. Endurance. Let me pull her up. I've never gotten this card before, so I'm really excited to read it. Endurance. Staying with pain, avoiding pain, patience. Anna Akhmatova, from 1889 to 1966, was celebrated during and beyond her lifetime for her lyric, melancholy poetry. As Russia fell under Stalin, Akhmatova and her circle of artists and intellectuals were persecuted for their work. Her son was imprisoned and sent to labor camps, and her husband was executed. Akhmatova's most famous poem, Requiem, is her boldest attempt at capturing the Stalinist terror. Let's pull up our next friend. Here is the community card. Leslie Marmon Silko. Taking care of each other. Safety nets. Exile. Of Pueblo, Mexican, European, and Cherokee ancestry, Leslie Marmon Silko, born 1948, identifies most with the Laguna Pueblo culture, which holds a vital belief in the universe's interconnectedness. Silko's work explores the tensions between the Southwest's diverse communities and methods of healing. Her breakout novel, Ceremony, about a young half-Pueblo, half-white man trying to recover from his service in World War II, attracted a major spotlight to Native American literature. This is very straightforward. Okay. Next up is Wolf. The self without others, a calling, the great expanse. White dress, appearances, society, gender. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put this message all together at the end here. Let me put these out. All right. Come on, liminal space postcards. I knew this needed to be general because I do believe this reading is specifically for the person who asked for it, but I also think it's for a lot of other people who are, who are going to end up watching this video. Whenever you are watching this video, if this resonates with you, now don't force it, but if this resonates with you, don't ignore it. The message is going to get to you one way or the other. The sooner the better. Okay. Anything else? Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. Try the opposite. Tribe of Dreams. Elevate. The best stories produce better stories. Gotta do this thing day by day. Expand time. And the bottom of the deck energy is the way home. Now these are pretty short too. I'm gonna read these. Might as well. These cards are so incredible. Okay. Try the opposite. Your current method isn't working. Do something else. Shake things up a little. All roads eventually lead to the same place. Tribe of Dreams. The byproduct of healthy interdependence. A cohabitation so successful that physical forms can be transcended to allow for a simultaneous exploration of the higher self's master plan. Some assembly required. Elevate. There's no reason you should not make it all the way to the top. Let yourself dream the biggest dream you are capable of. It is inherent in the nature of all things to rise. Expect it, and the powers of manifestation will aid you in the cultivation of this upward intention. Wow. The best stories produce better stories. Buddha stated that attachment is the root of all suffering, but the goddess would add that connection creates the bedrock upon which a life is lived. A more useful exercise is examining attachment to what causes the suffering, regardless of the narrative you have set around your roots, and some will find true horror looking in that rearview mirror. There is some miracle in the fact that the best stories of all of your ancestors resulted in you, here, now. What story will you make of that? Expand time. In instances where it is necessary to complete a task with not enough time to do so, a deal may be struck with time. Each moment of time expanded now is a moment of time contracted later. Decide carefully which grand endeavors are worth such a trade. And finally, the way home. Let's see. It's actually on the card. Where your treasure is, there your heart be also. There your heart will be also. Or will your heart be also? Yeah, there we go. You get it. Okay, Querent. This Haunted by Coast cards. The thing holding you back is whatever's happened in the past that makes you think that where you're going next is not already on your mind. You already know. Come on. All of this endurance, the storm, the threshold, like all of this, go the different way, expand yourself, include all details, everything's connected, use your past. Someone taught me once amor fati, which means like loving your past or loving your fate for where it brings you now. So, under this, live a fantasy, right? Have your dreams. What is your dream? You asked me about your career. Fine. What do you want, Querent? I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards, or I'm not going to pull them. I'm going to ask for Spirit to send them to us. I'm going to pull the rest of these cards up, get them out of my way. Because we had this 3-card past, present, future spread kind of present itself naturally. So what I'd like to do with that now is to just ask Tarot to give us a final clarification on this. Almost at 20 minutes, so we can wrap it up. looking for 3 cards, Spirit, to clarify this past, present, future spread about the querent asking for career advice. I think the path is looking very clear. They already know what it is. So I guess really what I'm asking for here is some clarification. Got the 8 of Wands in the upright. Okay. Justice in the upright and the Emperor in reverse. Now 2/3 of this is Major Arcana, which leads me to believe that this path is destined. And, you know, it's up to you to lean into it or out of it. But I'm going to pull the definitions. This 8 of Wands. This deck is the Modern Witch Tarot, by the way. The 8 of Wands. You fly across the desert fast as hell and looking to the horizon, the wands speeding along the sky above you. It's time to stop sitting around. You've got to take action and go, go, go. Rev the engine and stop wasting time because you've got things to do, people to see, and places to go. I love seeing the Justice card next as I'm a Libra. So I'm a Libra sun. So, you know, running into myself in a reading is always like, it lets me know I need to pay attention for myself too. So, sweet. Justice in the upright. The choices we make shape who we are. Justice, contemplative in her bright red robe-like coat, holds high the sword of choice. She does not treat her task lightly, and the balanced scales indicate that she is weighing all the options before her. Justice seeks to uncover deep understanding of moral and ethical truths, and once she found the right path, she's ready to take action to use that sword. You have to take responsibility for every choice you make. If you drift through life without examining your choices and what they say about you and your values, you'll never be truly self-aware, and you may find yourself treating others with dishonesty and unfairness. There may be a difficult issue that you need to examine or a social responsibility you've been neglecting. It's time to stand up. It's time to do the right thing. This is so straightforward. Okay, the Emperor in reverse. Boundaries and structure make us feel safe. The Emperor is full of authority and creates a world full of rules and laws. She is a comforting answer to the chaos of the natural world, but she is rigid and uncompromising on her stony throne. She requires logic and reason above all else, and she is unafraid to lead and take the reins to shape the world around her. Though she lords over a powerful and grand cityscape, the river of life has slowed to a trickle behind her. Protect yourself if you need to. Don't allow others to walk all over you, and don't be afraid to stand up, take charge, and force change. Logic and reason may be the best approach for a particular problem, and by creating some stability in your life, you may be able to release some anxiety. Don't lose touch with your compassion, though. Stubbornness and stoicism will not always be the best answer. This is in reverse, but I'm not feeling like this isn't accurate for you in its upright reading. It makes me feel like maybe you don't feel safe. And especially in this career reading, the first line, boundaries and structure make us feel safe. I mean, you don't. Who could? None of us do, right? It's the pandemic. But it looks to me, querent, and anyone else who's catching this reading that needs to hear it, if it resonates with you, please listen. What you need to do is already inside of you. Okay? Drink some water. Do some self-care. Do everything you need to do, like manifest a good relationship with yourself so that you really love who's looking back at you in the mirror and know that they're worthy even in their worst days. Okay? And then once you're ready to do the shadow work you need to do to get deep, deep, deep down inside and figure out what this calling that you're finally like rushing, like this looks very Chariot energy, right? It's like rushing into the future. Soundly, with honor, forcing themselves to do the moral, ethical, right things. And if this is a career reading for real, now it might not be for someone that's watching, you know, if it resonates for you and it's not about a job, great. Spirit wants us to do what we need to do for the highest good, to raise the communal vibrational frequency of the entire human race. All right, we're at 25 minutes. I hope this was helpful and resonated. leave some comments if you have some suggestions for other topics. I'd love a thumbs up. I'll try to interact with anyone that I can. And in general, thank you for your time and your energy and any prayers you could send my way. Be blessed.